Welcome back to the Self-Esteem and Confidence Mindset podcast with me, Johnny Pardo. Today, I welcome Adam to the show, where we're going to be talking about self-confidence, high performance, mindset, and many, many more things. So Adam is a high-performance coach obsessed with helping people unlock their potential. So Adam, welcome to the show. Glad we could make this happen and get this scheduled in. So yeah, just be interesting to hear a little bit about your background and what really got you into this area of high performance and really wanting to help people unlock their potential.
Sure. From a young age, I've got undiagnosed ADHD and dyspraxia from the age of, the traits started to develop from the age of around 3 to about 15. Then I went for the diagnosis and got all the paperwork back, which explained exactly why I was doing what I was doing. I didn't respond well to the conventional normaties of teaching, of just trying to retain information, and your intelligence level was based purely off that. So it was very difficult. I know that the schools are very advanced now in what they do, but I'm 35 now. So going back, 20, 30 years, it wasn't the best in terms of support. So I got so sick of trying to keep up with the blackboard and the whiteboard that I used to watch people instead, not in a creepy way, or in a way
People
of just, just people watching. And the teacher yells at a kid, and how does the kid respond? Then how does the teacher respond to the kid after that? And I just found that exchange absolutely fascinating. So, and because I used to play Jack the Lad quite often, I'd get thrown out of lessons, and then I'd have a lot of self-reflection time, and again, just people watching. So I guess not only from the curiosity perspective, but also knowing what it feels like to feel worthless, to feel less than, to feel like you're very misunderstood as well. I think that's the simplest way I can put it, really. And I had a career in hospitality, managing thousands of people in senior leadership positions, and I'd have to be an idiot at this point not to see patterns of human behavior. So I transferred that over. I pivoted from that to owning my own business. And then I started up a separate business with my business partner, who's also called Adam, who's a nutritional therapist. And I saw a bit of a gap in the market that can bring the two together. We had a third business partner who was also called Adam, believe it or not, and we bought him out last year. So he was a physio / PT. So we thought, if we can combine all the three of these things together, essentially we'll be able to help just about anyone be the best version of themselves. And we put a real focus in the last sort of 12 months towards this, the mindset. What is it? What does mindset mean? What are your belief systems? Our belief systems drive our behavior. What are the labels that you use towards yourself? What's the language that you use day in, day out? How do you view the world? How have we got to where we are today? I'm just fascinated by everybody's story and how they will see things differently. We did a group coaching just this morning, and I held up a pen and I said, what does everybody see? Most answers, of course, were a pen. However, some people said cylinder. Some people said a writing pen. Some people said a black ballpoint pen. So everyone saw the object differently. And this is how we view the world as well. Everyone's got a different way of interpreting that. So I would need to understand what their belief systems are, where they began, and how we can reframe them to make them more positive. That's what I'm obsessed with.
That's awesome. I love the way that you, how interested in people you are. It sounded just like that passion and how people look at things differently. It's very, very true. And it's when we're like, personally, when I hear from people, I have to catch myself out from it. Again, like sometimes I come at things from my model of the world, how I'm seeing things. And then you just got to be sometimes like considerate of the other person. And I know some people are more skilled at that than others. But yeah, that's ultimately, I love how you're helping people realize their potential, but actually they're all different. They're all different individuals, it sounds like. What I'd be quite interested to know, because it's a common question we kind of get, and I've had when I've been a coach as well. It's like, for that individual who's perhaps a little bit like stuck, actually, maybe I'm in something I don't like. I'm not really sure what direction I want to go in and what I want to do. Like, obviously that's the beauty of getting a coach themselves, but what kind of guidance maybe as first steps could you possibly suggest to that individual who's a bit lost of where they want to go?
Yeah, so there's a model by Tony Robbins called the 6 Human Needs, and we very much start at that point.
Love
so,
it.
Again, He is in the word here, human. We all need these things. So certainty, uncertainty, love and connection, significance, contribution, and growth. So we analyze, my extension of Tony's work is to analyze exactly where we're having success in these areas and where there's some blind spots. So, for example, someone might say to me, I had a client that said, I hate my job. I absolutely hate every single aspect of my job. I said, okay, first of all, is this true? Or are you having a bad day? You want to challenge it first and not take it at face value, not to invalidate what they've said, just to double check that what they have said is correct. Yes, it's true. Okay. Are you sure? Well, not every facet of the job that I hate. Okay. So it's not everything. We've unraveled that within 2 questions. So what is it specifically that's irritating you about the job? And then we start to unravel. So, for example, a guy was an IT consultant and he said to me, I'm sick of this, can't be bothered with it, I'm done. Right, no problem. What are you curious about? Football coaching, specifically coaching children. So, no problem. Well, why don't we just give it a go for free then? There's no point leaving your career that's paying you £90,000 a year just on a whim. So let's go experiment. Do you know any local football clubs? Can you try it for free? Yeah, I know a guy, he runs a club. Fantastic. He goes to see the club, spends the weekend there. I come back to him on Monday. How was it? Did you love it? No, I hated it. I was like, oh, why? He goes, well, the parents were obnoxious. The kids were even worse. The rain was awful. The referee was terrible. And I've decided this is not for me. Okay, let's do the 6 human needs test. Long story short, we unpacked it. What he actually didn't like was being spoken to disrespectfully by his boss. He didn't like long, boring meetings. He didn't like traveling to the office every day. But he loved problem solving. He loved working with computers. He loved working with a team, etc., etc. So we had to get to the specifics rather than the general. I hate my job. My relationship is terrible. They're better than me. I'll never be good enough. It's too broad. We have to get very specific with exactly what is going on. So what we got down to essentially was that let's remain in the IT business. Let's potentially look at setting up on your own and you'll be way more fulfilled. Long story short, he now earns £70,000 a year, not 90, but it's all his own money and he has a small team that he hires. Much better result than just wanting to throw it all away. He was fully ready to burn the boats and this is it, I want to do football coaching. And too often people pivot in their career without giving it a second thought, just on a whim or on a passion. And they listen to a self-help book that says, you can do it if you believe in yourself.
Classic.
Yeah, and that's it. And they go off and they don't think about anything else. So I'm not saying you can't follow your dreams and you can't pursue things, but you really have to get to the bottom of what's going on. So it might be that some people have too much certainty in their lives, hence they become bored. So therefore they seek variety. But they can get variety or uncertainty in their hobbies and on a weekend. They can go to different restaurants, they can watch different films, they can wear different clothes, they can go on different vacations. So we don't have to just throw in the towel just because one element of our job is unfulfilled. We can seek for a need in a different way. So I very much get them to do this, and it removes all the negativity bias and all the old belief patterns that it's not possible. I have to stay here. I have to stay in this marriage because of the kids. I've got bills to pay. I've got a roof over my head, whatever. And I get all of that completely. And it's not downplaying the importance of it, but we have to get to the specific granular problem of what's really happening.
I love that. I really like what you said about like someone just getting like curious on it and then actually asking them those challenging questions or getting them to ask it themselves as well. And actually being able to see, wow, what aspects of it? I've never actually heard someone say it like that, but it makes so much sense. Like what aspects of it, like when you're saying it, and massive Tony Robbins fans. In fact, I got UPW next week, but it's got,
oh, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, like love those, the 6 human needs are amazing. I've got to touch on this while we're kind of in this area. You're obviously in the coaching business, helping people with it. You know, I've coached, I've been coached. I'm sure you've been coached, many times. A lot of us, and I've been there in the past, have been guilty of like trying to go it alone and being like listening to those self-help books like you mentioned, or just trying to go on that solo journey. Could you perhaps share a little bit about your experience of someone going alone versus getting a coach?
For sure. How do you know what you're working towards? Number one, so if you're going it completely on your own, you've got blind spots for a reason. We all think we can see them, but they're called blind spots. So the way I phrase this to everybody is Usain Bolt had a coach and he was pretty good. Right. So, Lionel Messi has a coach and you could just keep going and going. Right. But I think we have to have someone external to keep us accountable, to call us out on our bullshit, to also offer the empathy and the compassion when needed. But no one achieved anything of greatness on their own, purely on their own. Everyone has had a mentor of some description. So I can't think of anyone that's achieved anything of worthwhile note that has just been solo, never learned anything, here we go. So it's not that anyone needs a coach as well, by the way. I say this to everybody on the discovery calls that we do. You don't need me in your life because you're a fully functioning adult as you are. But if you want to take your performance to the next level, you already would have done on your own. So that's where a coach comes in my opinion, is to elevate performance. Coaching shouldn't be a dirty word. This should be a word that is just part of our day-to-day vernacular, in my opinion. Everyone should have a coach. I know not everyone can afford them, of course, but I really believe that the best investment you'll ever make is in you. And people go, well, what's the ROI? Oh, I don't know. More clarity, less self-deprecating language towards yourself, sleeping better at night, more energy, more successful businesses, showing up for your family as you should be, being the best version of you. Is that enough? Or, so, but unfortunately, yes, typically men don't ask for help that often. Only 1 in 4 men will ask for help. And, 1 in 4 men are currently killing themselves or are severely depressed. So there's a huge epidemic, not in resources, it's resourcefulness, right?
Yeah.
So I think having that person there to hold you accountable and to push you and to test you is absolutely imperative for growth. But again, do you need it? No, but we don't need for anything really, other than water, shelter, and clothing. So it's not really about that.
Very sure. I do appreciate that. Your view on that one. It's something I kind of wanted to bring up because the impact it had on me, and I kind of just wanted to get your take and your view on it. I remember having a call actually with someone once, and I think the conversation was, would you suggest I try the free resources or free stuff first? And I said, well, if you wanted to, you would have done it already. So yeah, it's very true. There's enough free information out there for people to act on, in the world and day and age. We are not short of information. So yeah, like what you said about the blind spots and everything on that side of things. One thing, like say we've got a bit more clarity and, we know where we're going, an individual, how would you guide someone or suggest to someone in order to keep performing like at a good level, with like high performance? Because a lot of us hear this like willpower, go, 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 go. And then sometimes we burn out. Is there kind of like a system or a strategy that you follow or help people follow?
Yeah, I've got 2. The first one is from one of my coaches. So I say one of, because I've got 2, one of which was David Waldy, who's been on your podcast.
Awesome, man.
He helps me more with the business side of things and setting up systems and whatnot. Then I've got another coach who helps me with my mindset. How can I possibly serve people at the highest level if I've got, my own baggage that I'm not talking through, and also be a bit of hypocritical as well to tell them to invest in themselves if I'm not doing it as well, right? So the first one is the 3 R's: reflect, refine, repeat. At the end of each week, reflect, or at the end of each day, if you want to take it up a notch. What went really well today? What could I improve tomorrow? So you're reflecting, what can I refine? Well, I spoke too much on that sales meeting, or I snapped at my partner, or I wasn't playing with my children because I was doing work emails, and tomorrow night I want to do that differently. So you're refining it, and then you repeat until you need to reflect again. The other one is really, really simple, but one that I think gets overlooked all the time. is that I hear the word motivation. When I'm motivated, then I'll go to the gym. The relying on the mental to move the physical, that'll never happen. You have to do the physical to get to the mental, meaning that if you move your body first, then you'll probably go to the gym. But what most people do is they roll over, check the phone, scroll on Instagram for 20 minutes, say they've got no time in the morning, got no energy now. They've compared their lives to about 50 strangers instantaneously, created loads of micro stressors, and now they can't be bothered going to the gym because they look outside and it's wet and it's cold. If your phone's outside your room, the alarm goes off, the gym gear's already laid out by your phone, you've got a pint of water next to your toothbrush, you brush your teeth, you drink the water, suddenly I feel more energized, turn the alarm off outside the bedroom, get changed, then go downstairs, then you can decide if you want to go to the gym. 99.9% of the time you'll do it. But if you don't know what you're working towards, why would you do that? The only way that, in my opinion, discipline comes in is knowing what you're aiming at every single day and be laser-like specific with this, not I want to go to the gym. So it's the system that I use is the what, the how, the why, and the when. So the what, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to run 5K in under 30 minutes. And I want to feel confident when I'm naked. Great. How? I'm going to train 4 times a week. I'm going to be in a calorie deficit. I'm going to buy some new running shoes. I'm going to hire a coach. I'm going to set daily targets for myself. And that'll really push me. Why? My self-esteem isn't on the floor right now. I'm really lacking confidence. And the why has to be really powerful here, by the way. Don't just make it washy, want to get fitter. I am sick of walking upstairs and being out of breath. I want to have the energy to play with my children. I want to feel confident when I'm having sex with my partner. Make it painful, make it real, whatever that why is for you. And then the when should be obvious, yesterday, right? Because we can all put it off. But the dopamine hit that we get by saying diet starts tomorrow or Monday morning, then I'll change. It feels good to make a commitment. It's like a mini contract in the brain. And the brain loves this because it's like, yeah, that's it. I've made the decision now. Here we go. But without the other steps, what happens? It gets to Monday, it's cold, it's wet. You've had a difficult night with the kids. You've got a meeting at 9. I can't get back from the gym in time, yada, yada, yada. And then we just quit straight away. Oh, I'll wait till next week. Next week's better. I've got more gaps in my schedule. And then time just keeps evaporating until New Year, New Me comes around. And now I'll really change. But you won't because you don't know why you're doing it. You've not given yourself enough structure in order to achieve your goals, whatever that looks like for you. So there's so many convoluted, secret sources and recipes for success out there. And don't get me wrong, people could perceive mine as being exactly that. But when you go back to the very foundations of why you're doing it, what you're doing it for, how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, you're going to get most things achieved. And I've read every self-help book you can think of. I've watched all the speakers, and that's the best stuff that I've taken out of it and simplified it to make it as efficient as I can. That makes it as easy for me to teach and easy for the client to understand.
That's fantastic, Adam. I really like what you said about one of the R's being reflecting, and then most human beings I know don't reflect. It's just like cycle. I'm doing this. I'll get New Year. Right. Let's do this. Why are you doing it? I like what you said about the why being really specific as well. It's like, a coach can go out there, even a coach can go out and go, I want to change people's lives. And, that's not perhaps as specific, right? Or
correct. That's it, mate. And, that used to be mine. And it was now, I want to change people's lives because I know what it feels like to be worthless or feel worthless and misunderstood.
Wow, that's a powerful.
Yeah, it's a powerful statement. So when I can't be bothered and I have days where, like everybody else, where you just feel drained and burnt out and, you're doing back-to-back calls and it gets really tough some days, and then you go, no, I've got a bigger calling here. Remember what it felt like. Your message that you're not posting on LinkedIn today might just help change a life, might help change 10. You don't know. And you have to remove your own ego and be vulnerable to put yourself out there. It comes at a cost, though. When I put posts about being alcohol free and coaching people and transforming lives, you're always going to get someone being negative based on their view of the world because they might be in a bad spot. So I don't judge the person for doing it. Does it make it any easier reading it? No, but my calling outweighs the negativity. It's the trade-off. Brené Brown talks about it. If you want to become, anything in this world, you have to be willing to take all the negative that comes with it too. So, but remember that why every single day. And, obviously Simon Sinek is the why guy, right? Start with why and all that kind of stuff. And I believe that too, but the more painful you can make it, the better, in my opinion.
Some great final points to leave us with. And Adam, we could go on for ages, to be honest. There's so much gold I've been writing down from just like listening to you today. But yeah, before we kind of like wrap up, where can the listener find more from you or reach out to you if they need a little bit more guidance?
Yeah, so we've literally we're launching a new website. I think Monday properly. We've done a soft launch this week. We're just ironing out the kinks. So that's www.agameconsultancy.com. There's a lot of information on there. We've got helpful blogs, some inspirational stuff to follow on there, some videos, and then you can get in direct contact with me through the website. That's one way. On Instagram, I'm Adam Smith _NLP coach. On LinkedIn, obviously, it's Adam Smith, but good luck finding that. So you might just need to type in a consultancy and you might find me, who knows. And then on TikTok, I'm alcohol-free coach. That's it. So, yeah.
What we'll do for the sake of the Adam Smith on LinkedIn or the other ones, we'll link that in the show notes anyway, so people have got your direct link. So once again, Adam, a massive thank you for coming on today. Really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you for having me, mate.
Awesome. So that concludes our episode for today. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.